aside to make money, there are other reasons why people go into businesses. And with my little encounter with some of them, I came up with this. First is situation. Yes, I got this from one of the people I interacted with. When he was like, he acted it as a backup plan because he was envisioning a future where he was going to lose his current job. So he decided to go into pig farming as a backup plan in case the current one is taken away from him. He does not find himself wanting. And the next one was to also serve a need. He realized that there was something that could be done about a particular situation in his area. So assuming he does not even work on the farm or in the business himself, you have people to work on who at the end of the day they'll get something to fend for themselves and their family. As a way to serve the need, he realized that rearing animals and then also going to crop farming is a way to contribute to food security. So food security in a short sense is that a situation where there's abundance of food and everybody gets to eat what they need. You understand? So he decided to also contribute his part because if you want to envision it globally, it becomes too ambitious. But just look at your area, that locality, small people, maybe a family of 5, you can feed them with what you are producing. You are taking those people out of the global problem. So, animal farming, that is source of protein like that. So if you find a way to produce it and maybe make it a bit affordable, your people will enjoy it and they can patronize it. And also to serve this need, particularly and personally also, I went into rural milling. That's the business I started. The rural milling, we deal with corn milling, like we grind maize and then we haul rice into edible form. So if you harvest the rice from the forest or your farm, you bring it to our site, we process it into the edible form, the grain, which you can cook and eat. And what did I even start this in the first place? This was the issue. Where I was located, like I grew up there before I moved to a town when I had the privilege to attend school in a town. So when I went back, I saw that the people there, they were struggling a lot. You see small kids, usually they have to stop school and then carry grains on their head from like small kids. They would have to journey about 9 kilometers, 12 and 15 kilometers just to go to a milling center. And with that, they bypassed my community where now I have established my center. They bypassed it because there was nothing like a milling site to hold their rice for them. So they have to carry this. Small children sweat and they be smelling like that. So it was something that I wasn't pleased myself to see these small people struggle through. Our house is just by the roadside, so anytime they get tired, they just branch to our house to sit there, relax, and you can see how this, like some of them, sometimes as they sit to relax, they even fall asleep. I don't know whether they fall asleep, just like they have even gone to milk the thing before coming there. They just fall asleep, and it is all because of tiredness. Okay, so you see a child below 15 carrying heavy things, about 15 kilos of something, to journey around 15 miles before you mail it, bring it home to the family. If he doesn't do that, he's not going to eat. And this is not also helping the children because anytime they're even in class, their mind is that if they close, they will go back and carry this thing, which will take them about 2 hours, 3 hours to come back. So that was not also contributing to the education, and they were dropping out because now they have accepted the fact that it is their duty to be mailing the grains for their parents. So they decide to just stay at home when there's a grain for them to carry. Then they'll just carry it like that on their head, move past my community to the next center. So I said, well, I can't say parents stop what you're doing or kids when they send you don't go, but I can lessen the distance for them. So I decided to cut this 9 kilometers the journey. I cut it by putting the center just close by them. With that, once they even close from school, they can quickly rush home and then carry these crops to my center mill. And there are some kids that they even just bring the product to my center, leave it, then go to class. When they close, they pass, they take it back to their house, which takes them not more than 5 minutes to get to my center. So that one was what was pressing me, and I said, no, I have to help these children, especially. I have to help them. You understand? And beside that, where the center is situated, that is where the production center is. The farms are all around. So why do I watch them now look for vehicle in the first place? They look for vehicle after harvesting the produce, transport them past the community to the next center, mail it. Now look for vehicle again, transport them back to the community. You see, so that was also disturbing a lot of farmers and disrupting their activities where they're supposed to focus much of their energy into. Now they are thinking about transportation and mailing. So I decided to take that problem out of them. So that was also a need, and I also saw that no, I can actually solve this with the little thing I'm doing. So that is why I also went to do, and it is also a reason people see the need and they want to find a way to stop the struggle people go through every day. People don't start business because they have money they don't want to use for anything. It is a way to contribute to a cause aside making the money. And one thing also is that once you start solving problems that people are really interested in getting it solved, you see that the money finds its way into your account. So sometimes if somebody tells me that I have 10,000, I have 50,000 Ghana cedi francs, what can I do with? It's not enough, and I'm afraid that if I start this business, it will finish and I'm not yet making any profit. I said, no, you don't need much or more money to do that. I started mine with just less than 5,000. But that one, I started something small that I think the 5,000 can multiply quickly, and then I can quickly divert that into other areas. And that was where the thing started working for me, and also getting connected with the right people who were also at least guiding me. No, if you want to do this at this time, in 2 months' time, you struggle to do this. So put this one on hold, bring this, get this one going. No, leave this. If you buy this, it is not going to help your business. Pause it. Go and get this one first. So like I was just guided along the way, and so don't, if you know there's a need in your area and you can help, even if you're going to make just 5% profit, please just help somebody. Especially in my part of the world, Ghana. Somebody even feeds on just 10 cedis a day. You see, so like there are just levels of it, and if you want to get the biggest before you give to the community, it is going to take you a while, or maybe you might not even take any action at all. So you start small, you build it from there, solving the need of the people, making their life easier, and then they willingly give their money to you in return for your service to them. Just put the money making aside and look at the happy faces you create after you have established your business. And others too, because of a retirement plan, they can't be working throughout. It will get to a point that they will be sent home, whether they like it or not. Age will make them come home. And when they come, they have nothing doing. And particularly for those who do this as a backup plan for their work, sometimes it's not just because of the money, but they find fulfillment, especially with livestock farmers. And this I can relate. Sometimes you say you feel stressed, depressed, and you feel like doing nothing. But the moment you go to these animals, you see them acting in a way that even like makes you happy, and you start to forget about some of your problems. So livestock is not just a business like that, but it's a way to suit yourself and then to make you calm in situations where at least you were finding confusion everywhere around you. If you go to visit these animals, you see that you are able to at least get yourself back, and then you live in the present moment. So livestock farming and starting business, actually, it teaches you a lot, character building, from being patient, strategic, and always thinking ahead, a step ahead. Because for animals like this, they feed especially. I am into the intensive system. I've been in the pig farming for years. My animals don't go out. So it means every time I have to get feed to feed them in the room. Understand? And I've been doing this. So it means I have to be thinking ahead. You'll be looking at the feed. At this time, this feed will be finishing. I should get this number of bags stored. At this time, they will need this medication. Let me start getting it. So you're always ahead of the game. And that one alone is helping you take decisions aggressively for yourself. It's helping you and teaching you a lot of management, which is something I am benefiting, because at my age, I can see that through the small things I started, at least it has built me very, very well. And also, when I came home after graduation, like I'll do telling on this channel, I'm not into any official employment. Now I am working for myself. No official employment. It's not that if I get a job I'm not going to do, I will do it. But now that the job is not there, and I've already created something on my own, which is something I'm very proud of, because that was one of the best decisions I ever made whilst I was on campus. I decided to set up a small business that when I come home, I'll not be idle. And truth be told, it is paying off and it is helping me a lot, because it's been a long time I graduated, but I've not really gotten any formal job yet. I am busily in my activities doing, and it is at least providing for me and taking care of my small needs that I don't depend on anybody again. So going into businesses with the right motive, at least you'll be happy and fulfilled at the end of the day. If you have something that you know you can start, even if it is not going to make you massive profit, but it is going to relieve the pain of the people and make them smile, please try and put it on their faces. We are going through a lot. People are going through a lot on a daily basis. And with my line of business, I've been interacting with a lot of people. People come to my mailing center and you see their face, it tells you a lot about them. They are going through pain, stress, depression, broken homes. And sometimes I just like to be funny, just to let them laugh and then leave some of the problems there. usually I do like to interact with people, get to know how they're also feeling and what is going on with their life. And if there's a way, maybe I can just put some smile on their faces for a very short time, I'll just do that to relieve them in the moment. Understand? So we are going through a lot, and it's not everybody that's willing and comfortable to share with you, for the fear that you might hear it out, laugh at them, provide any solution, and then keep spreading the information about them, which will make them do what is unexpected. But if you get closer to people, you could see that people are really battling with a lot of issues that is only known to them and their God.